Hey, good morning everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss Pre-Market Report for May 16th, 2017. I'm Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Here's a look at the daily time frame of the ES. We got a push higher yesterday and closed right at about 2,400 and pushed through the previous highs here, closing above them. And when we left the trading room yesterday, the idea was to defend a pullback into 95.96 in overnight trading for a shot at continuing this thing higher. Overall, if price can remain above 2,400, 2,398, the expectation would be for a continuation into the upside targets. We have the 24 quarter level as our next key target above, and we also have 24.15 as a key near-term target. So we could be looking at a continuation into those targets ahead. As I've mentioned before, any counter rotation here as deep as 76.5 will still be defended by bulls for a continuation higher. It's going to take a failure to hold 76.5 to stop the momentum to the upside right now. And so far, this has been a slow-moving train to the upside, and the expectation is for more upside pressure into the 24.24 level ahead. So continue to watch for strength above 23.95. Any failure to hold 95s could rotate this thing back to 80 and perhaps as low as 76.5. But again, a rotation into that zone will still be defended until proven otherwise. Here's a look at the intraday time frame right now. Looking at the intraday, basically right now we have the rotation into 96 quarter, price pushed higher and is now above 2,400, the previous close. Any counter rotation into as low as 98 still likely to be defended for a push higher into 24.0375 and into the next upside targets 24.05 and beyond. All right, let's take a look at crude oil. We finally reached our key target yesterday, which was a push into the 48.75s. That was from May 5th here on that rejection low, the pullback and absorption off of the 45 and changes, and then we saw a continuation into 48.75. I mentioned that we could see a move as high as 50.20. But one thing to keep in mind here is we have had a VPOC shift up to 49.20 and now down back to 48.70. So right now with VPOC being in this area, we could see a little bit more chop back and forth here around this zone before the next move is seen. After we see this move down, then this move back up, there could be a tendency to build a range and look to fade the edges. But overall, the flow is still to the upside, but we only have a little bit more upside here before we may begin to see some counter trend flow here. So right now, we could be looking at some range-bound activity, even as low as 48, 47.65 into 50. That could become the range where price chops above and below VPOC at this point. So looking for the next potential move. Right now, we're finishing this latest move. Nothing really to do now except for look for digestion of the recent price move. On an intraday basis here, you'll see how price, again, pushed higher, and after the push up, we got to move into 49.66. That was the recent high. Price pulled back, and now we're forming a range in this zone. So it could be fade new highs, fade new lows type of day, but again, right now we got to see where the range develops and defines itself. If it's 49.66 down to 48.75, then we could be looking at fading the wider range right now. But nothing really to do too much right now as price digests this recent move, and we'll see how this continues to develop. All right, looking at gold futures, one thing we talked about with regards to gold was we could be looking at a push into 1240 if price remains above 1232. However, until price can get above 1240, we're still likely headed back toward 1200 to 1205. And so what we've seen here was price push above 1232 and into 1238 and fail to hold above that zone and closing back below 1232 by the end of the session yesterday. Now price is trying yet again to establish acceptance above 32s. Again, this 1240 is the major level to watch here. Any failure to get above that zone will likely be the next push into 1200 to 1205. So that's still the major pivot to watch. Above 1240 opens up a move back toward 1263 to 1270. So again, keeping an eye on 1240 is the big higher time frame level to watch. Looking at the intraday time frame for gold right now, again, you'll notice here price holding above 1232. attempting to, pushing into 1237s, a big rejection back down, and now we have a range that's established. So basically 1237, 1229 could be the edges to fade here as price continues to do battle in this zone. All right, that's it for now. Let's see how this thing plays out heading into the rest of the session. Good luck and trade well.